Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Tamine Prabhupada Sasahityam Yapakasha Vatiraja Vacharangarva Sadhu Bhagat Pati Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paśyatya Deshatarine Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalang Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rūpāṃ Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padham Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Smitamscha He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaniswari Visabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Śivāsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, the universal form, text number 6. Paśyadityang vasung rudran asbinau marutashtata bahuni adrishta purvani pasyascharyaनि bharata. Paśyadityang vasung rudran asbino marutashtata bahuni adrishta purvani pasyascharyaनि bharata. Paśyadityang vasung rudran asbino marutashtata bahuni adrishta purvani pasyascharyaनि bharata. Mataji, Paśyadityang vasun rudran asbino marutastata bahuni adrishta purvani Okay, word for word meaning? Paśya, see. Adityan, the 12 sons of Aditi. Vashun, the 8 Vasus. Rudran, the 11 forms of Rudra. Ashbinau, the 2 Ashvinis. Maruta, the 49 Maruts, demigods of the wind. Tata, also. Bahuni, many. Adrishta, that you have not seen. Purvani, before. Paśya, see. Ascharyani, all the wonders. Bharata, O best of the Bharatas. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O best, O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashvini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Purport. Even though Arjuna was a personal friend of Kṛṣṇa and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Kṛṣṇa. Here, it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known of all these forms and manifestations. Now, Kṛṣṇa reveals these wonderful forms. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Paśyadityam vasung rudram ashpino marutastata bahuni adrishta purvani paśyascharihani bharata. O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashvini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard before. So, we are now in the chapter which is like a mystery. Of all the chapters from the Bhagavad Gita, this is like a mystery. It's very difficult to comprehend because Kṛṣṇa was there with Arjuna. They're sitting together, and at the same time, the universal form is being shown to Arjuna by Lord Kṛṣṇa. Now, there is a purpose why Arjuna asked him, Lord Kṛṣṇa, to show this universal form. It is not for himself. He is happy to see Lord Kṛṣṇa. He is content, he is satisfied to see Kṛṣṇa in his two-armed form. So the forms of Lord Kṛṣṇa, his two-armed form, he also has this four-armed form, Chaturbhuj. These are eternal forms of the Supreme Lord. The universal form, it is temporary. It is not one of his incarnations. It is specially meant for those who wish to know the greatness, the magnificent features of the Supreme Lord being, everything is included. Virat Roop, universal form. And this form, Lord Kṛṣṇa says, no one has ever seen this before. Even Arjuna has never seen this before. No one. Even the demigods, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, nobody else. But because to establish Lord Kṛṣṇa's divinity, His super power. Divinity means His superiority, which is not of this material world, divine. This is mentioned in the first sloka. And to convince others, that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Lord. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that if anyone tells you that he is God, then you can immediately ask him, show me your universal form. Because if you are God, then you can, with your power, will be able to show this universal form. But of course, you have to give me also the divine eyes to see this. Even though it is not just only Lord Kṛṣṇa showed the universal form to Arjuna, he also showed this to everyone. In the battle, they can see this in such a way that they have this glimpse. Actually, he showed that everyone is within the mouth also of this, like in Lord Kṛṣṇa's pastimes with Mother Yasoda. When the coward boyfriends, they were teasing Lord Kṛṣṇa. And in order for Lord Kṛṣṇa to be punished by eating dirt, the coward boys also asked or told Mother Yasoda that Lord Kṛṣṇa took mud, took earth. Have you been to this place in Brahmandagat? And the pujaris there, they're selling this clay, mud, and you can use this as tilak also. Some devotees are using as tilak. And you can eat that actually. Have you tasted that? Have you tasted? Nice taste. Very, not hard. You can break it and eat little every day. So actually, the universal form is specifically for those who are in the neophyte stage. For the neophyte stage. That it says in the first step in God realization, the second canto, that in the beginning, even a Mayavadi, for him to have at least acknowledge that there is a supreme creator or God, then one can be also worship this universal form of the Supreme Lord. All the planets are there, all the demigods are there. We were talking about different demigods last week. You are correct. There are 33 crores. That means there are 330 million demigods. But the BBT, they just stuck with what it says 33 million demigods, which is not 33 million. It is 330 million demigods, because 1 crore is 10 million. So if there are 33 crores, that means there are 330 million demigods. Yes? But you will not find in Prabhupada's books 330 million demigods. So all the demigods are there. The whole universe are inside. The planets, the demigods, the demons, all the human beings, everything. So, yes, it says that this is also being shown to Arjuna so that to avoid the imposters. Avoid the imposters. Because in Kali Yuga, people are very easily misguided, and others are very expert in making ways how to make themselves popular, especially in the social media. People think that if you're good in speaking, then you are very powerful. There is this one very prominent speaker, motivator. He practically knows everything. And then when he was asked, have you read Bhagavad Gita? He says, no. No. But he is considered to be like almost God. He is considered as a topmost guru. Yeah, no. There is no Bhagavad Gita. Actually, Mother Yasoda, she's lover of Kṛṣṇa. Where did you get this from? It's really very confusing for others. He has a very long white beard, long white hair, grayish hair, and he's considered to be very, very wise. But he doesn't know. So, this, especially Arjuna, it says here, he wants to substantiate Krishna's statement so that in the future people can understand that Kṛṣṇa not only theoretically or philosophically but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. Actually, not everyone, please excuse me, not everyone in the battle saw this universal form. Duryodhana saw this universal form, and Advaita Acharya also saw some kind of Virat Roop or universal form. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed to Advaita Acharya Prabhu. Because not everyone was given a divine eyes. Even though they're very exalted personalities in the Kurukshetra, the battle of Kurukshetra, but not everyone. And this, again, to prove Kṛṣṇa as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord that one can understand Him. No one can understand Lord Kṛṣṇa through theoretical knowledge, through logic, through analysis. It is only by the special mercy from the Supreme Lord Himself, through a bona fide spiritual master. And that's why he is also called Yogeswar. Yogeswar means he is the master of all yoga. He has this yogic power, mystic power, that he was able to display this. And different personalities, he says here, you can see the different manifestations of Adityas, the Vasus, Rudras, Asvini Kumars, and all the other demigods. So, As Arjuna, being a personal friend of Lord Kṛṣṇa, he is the most advanced of all learned men. Still, it is not possible to know fully Kṛṣṇa, who he is. And again, to satisfy, because Arjuna requested Kṛṣṇa to show this universal form. He doesn't need to be shown this universal form, but he requested Lord Kṛṣṇa to show the universal form. And since he is a dear devotee of the Supreme Lord, he fulfilled his desires. But after some time, we're going to read a few more, many verses. Because he was not able to behold this form of the Supreme Lord. He was not able to really appreciate this form of the Supreme Lord compared to his two-armed form. So this is our goal. Our goal is to establish that relationship with the two-armed form feature of the Supreme Lord. Because in the universal form, one cannot have any relationship. There is no ras. What can you have? What relationship we can have with the universal form except with awe and reverence? And more likely, we will be frightened. We will be afraid of this feature. He says here, ghastly feature of the Supreme Lord. Because all of these different soldiers or warriors in the battlefield, they're all like gushing, or they're all like going so fast into the mouth. So it is unimaginable, but at the same time, for those who are atheists, then they will understand that there is God. Once they see and meditate on the universal form of the Supreme Lord. Now this is just the start, because ultimately from text, starting from text 8, we'll be able to understand by giving the divine eyes. In text 7, again, the universal form is being shown to him because he desired to see this. And he says that whatever you may want to see in the future, everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. Just imagine how big is that universal form. That must be gigantic. And Mother Yasoda, of course, Mother Yasoda saw a different universal form in the abdomen. When Lord Kṛṣṇa opened his mouth, it is not that Mother Yasoda saw the universal form within the mouth. The Acharya says that the universal form was contained within the stomach of Lord Kṛṣṇa. That even though he was, I've seen in India, children, young children, they have this string, you know, this black string around their waist. Did you have this when you were a kid? No? Yes? Some of you, this is like for protection, some kind of kabacha, some kind of shield. So Lord Kṛṣṇa also has this, but at the same time, it contained the waist of Lord Kṛṣṇa, But then when Mother Yasoda saw the universal form, she cannot believe it also, because she saw herself. She saw the whole Vrindavan inside, and she also saw herself inside of the abdomen or the stomach of Lord Kṛṣṇa. And she was saying, oh, I must be dreaming. But here, no. Arjuna, not for a moment, he thought that he was dreaming. He thought that it is this, that's it, it's real. And even though Kṛṣṇa is besides him, see, all the warriors, I was mistaken when I said that all the warriors saw also, but they did not see this. They only saw Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna together. But then Arjuna was seeing the whole cosmic manifestation. So even though we were not there 5,000 years ago, when Lord Kṛṣṇa have shown this universal form to Arjuna, at least we can picture this into our mind. How or what does it look like, and how are the feelings? What is it that Arjuna is thinking and feeling at that very moment? Because universal form is not for the devotees. The universal form is for the non-believers, for the atheist, and specifically for those who are in the beginning stage. Somehow one may propose that we must have also worshipped this universal form in our previous life, and somehow we have come to the conclusion now that we only will want to worship the Supreme Lord in His two-armed form, that Shama Sundar form, that Tribhanga form, where Lord Kṛṣṇa is playing his flute with his curly hair, having a peacock feather on his head, having a yellow garment, and have a garland of Vaijayanti mala. Other sampradayas, they don't have this form of the Lord as their most worshipable object. Some of them are in the Narayan, feature worship of the Supreme Lord, the four-armed form of the Supreme Lord. It's like if we go to South India, most of the devotees there are worshiping Lakshmi Narayan or Nishingadev. There are many Nishinga temples in South India. But somehow or other, we are fortunate enough in such a way that we are worshiping that original form of the Supreme Lord. Even though there is no difference between Lord Kṛṣṇa in his two-armed form or in his four-armed form, and the only difference is that of the mood of worship. And that four-armed form is more of Aishwarya, with awe and reverence, and the devotees of the four-armed form of the Supreme Lord, they are more into deity worship through Pancharatrika Marg, following rules and regulations, and they do a lot of yagyas and very elaborate deity worship. In the form of the Lord, in His two-arm form, the original form of the Supreme Lord, there is also Pancharatrika marg, following the book that has been described by Narad Muni in Narada Pancharatrika book. But also we worship the Supreme Lord through Bhagavat marg, by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, propagating the holy name of the Lord. And we do this through chanting in the streets and also distribution of books. In the worship of the Lord in His four-arm form, they don't have much like what we do. Harinam Sankirtan. They do, but only in the temple. They will not go out like that in the same mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they will not go out and distribute Bhagavad Gita person to person or house to house. They will be just more satisfied by worshiping the Lord in His Archa Vigraha form, in the mandir, in the temple. So these two forms of the Supreme Lord, the two-arm form and the four-arm form of the Supreme Lord, they are eternal form of the Supreme Lord. And this universal form is temporary. It is not that it is false, it is real also, but there is a beginning, there is a middle, and there's an end. So that is the big difference here. So even Arjuna, a personal friend and most advanced learned man, did not know all about Kṛṣṇa. He did not know everything. And therefore, Kṛṣṇa will now reveal this wonderful form of the Supreme Lord. It is wonderful, especially for those who are non-believers of the Supreme Lord. But ultimately, the devotees of the Supreme Lord, they would prefer the two-arm form of the Supreme Lord. I will stop here now because they have given me this verse. We could have continued more, but I'm only given this verse because it is a sequence. This leads actually from text 5 to text 8. These are all sequence. It could have been one lump of verses. Like Prabhupada, if you hear Prabhupada's lectures in Bhagavad Gita, he would read and comment. Just keep commenting. And that's much I can say in this verse, text 6. You have any question or comments? Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for a nice class. About this wise person that you were talking about with white hair, white beard and white hair.
Yeah. I'm not going to say the name. But you must have known who he is.
Yes, yes. I also saw that, and I was also surprised that he is referring to Kṛṣṇa as just some senior person, who's this thing. So I was, I always feel this thought comes to mind. I should also make a video saying Lord Kṛṣṇa thinks he's a rascal, or people like him. Like Lord Kṛṣṇa says, anyone who thinks he's a human being, avajananti mam mudha manushim tanum ashrita param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwar. Kṛṣṇa says in the Bhagavad Gita that fools deride me when I come in human form. So I was going to prepare a video that, this guy is a fool, according to Lord Krishna.
Well,
Would
yeah.
that be?
Those who knows the absolute knowledge, those who knows, because we understand this knowledge through Guru Parampara. This person is considered to be very learned, but he's just concocting. He's just speculating. And he has so many followers. Thousands and thousands. But because people are naive, they are in ignorance, and in Kali Yuga, if one is expert in bluffing, and doesn't really know, that's why Prabhupada says, if you're looking for gold, so you must know what is gold. Because I can show you a fool's gold. It's gold filled, because gold is gold, 24K. Other like 14K, 10K, that is not gold really. Huh? It's plated. It's like, there's some layers outside. Inside, it is like metal, maybe iron. So, in the world right now, there are many are taking advantage to cheat people. But those who read Prabhupada's books, they cannot be fooled. It is not possible. Anyone who reads the books and also study under a guidance of a learned person, those who follow the Bhagavad Gita, they cannot be fooled. So, I would say in some of our devotees actually they already kind of like counterattack this kind of people. It's okay, let them do it. Let just be more concerned about our practice of bhakti. Because eventually they will be exposed. Kṛṣṇa will make such arrangement for those who are cheaters to be exposed. It's just a matter of time. So let us just be focused and concerned about our execution of bhakti. Huh?
Thank you. Thank
Yes. You. Any other? Raja Vidya, Prabhu? Hare. Come, there's echo now.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Maharaj, I have not question, but I would like that you explain a little more about this. You can hear me? Huh? You can hear me or understand
I can
me?
hear you, but there is echo.
Hare Krishna.
The tuning is not.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, we have so many bows.
Hare Krishna. On?
Yeah, too far. Yeah,
Hare
a little bit far. Yeah,
It's okay, Maharaj.
a little bit close so I can hear. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Maharaj, like as Prabhupada explained in the Purport also, and Kṛṣṇa also says, like this form, I didn't show. Means to say, nobody knew.
Not shown to anybody. Yeah.
But we heard also that Kṛṣṇa gave the same knowledge to Vivaswan, and then it came through Parampara. So, little bit means to say Kṛṣṇa gave the same knowledge in the same way, or maybe in concise form or some other form?
Oh, let us say because he is speaking at that very specific moment. So no one has seen this before. At that time, at that moment, when he spoke this to the sun god Vivasvan, at that time, I don't think Kṛṣṇa has to prove that he's God. Huh? To Arjuna. Arjuna was there, but the knowledge was speaking to the sun god Vivasvan. So Lord Kṛṣṇa doesn't have to prove to Arjuna. And Arjuna, see, here we've heard that Arjuna requested. So shall we say that Vivasvan also requested Lord Kṛṣṇa to show the universal form? We cannot say, because we were not there. Yeah, there's a previous yuga. This is like before Kali Yuga now. So in those days, mostly there are, and there's not many people at that time also. Because that's just the beginning. Huh? And there is no war. There is no war. There's no atheists, there's no demons. There are demons, but not like demons like what we have in this battle of Kurukshetra. Babu, tell them not to play with the door. Haribol! Hey! This boy is playing with the door. He's gonna break it. Okay?
I had one more also nobody can know Kṛṣṇa completely as
Nobody can know Kṛṣṇa
fully.
fully, yes.
So as a sadhaka, how much one should have desired to know Kṛṣṇa? Like sometimes we know, okay, Kṛṣṇa is like blue, this and that, but then desire comes, oh Kṛṣṇa, what times he goes to his house and what time his plays.
But in the beginning, we should just, again, we should be just more concerned how we control our senses, our mind. And ultimately, our goal is to see Kṛṣṇa face to face. So it'll be like a premature kind of desire to see Kṛṣṇa immediately and know our relationship with Kṛṣṇa. Better try to control our senses, try to control our mind, sharpen our intelligence, read Srila Prabhupada's books, do a good sadhana. In this way, ultimately it'll be revealed that, okay, I want to understand Kṛṣṇa in such a way. So this is like a step by step. And it's very difficult to understand Kṛṣṇa because our mind is not focused. Our mind is so turbulent. As Arjuna says, it's more difficult to control than a raging wind. Raging wind or raging wind. So we just have to follow that. Huh? Yeah, it's not possible to understand Kṛṣṇa fully. But at least if we develop this taste, especially of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then ultimately we'll understand Kṛṣṇa. Okay, he will reveal himself according to our desire. Just like Arjuna, he can ask Lord Kṛṣṇa anything and Kṛṣṇa ready to give it to him. Okay? Shall we stop here now? Last question, yes? Ram.
Hare Krishna. But is it needed to understand Kṛṣṇa fully, completely?
Is it
any need to understand Kṛṣṇa fully? For what? For what?
No.
We have such a miserable brain, very small brain.
We cannot understand Kṛṣṇa fully.
No, but no need even understand him because he's so attractive. We are attracted to him as a
but we need to know about him. Like that's why we are reading Bhagavad Gita every day. So that this is the beginning stage. It's like if you're attracted to one person and you don't know him, so you try to find out what does he like, what does he do, where does he live. Few things you can find out from him.
Few.
Yeah, not fully, even, we cannot. So, the Bhagavad Gita is there for us to understand Kṛṣṇa up to a certain extent, because our attraction to Kṛṣṇa has to be matured. Right now, Kṛṣṇa is all attractive, but I'm also attracted to Maya. So, I would like to focus my attraction to Kṛṣṇa. Okay, so let me know more about Kṛṣṇa then. I don't want to know anything about Maya, but I'm still attracted to Maya. We have done enough being in Maya's kingdom. As Prabhupada says, the animals, they don't have to learn any of these things, but they're doing it already, naturally. So we try to avoid the sinful activities and learn about Lord Kṛṣṇa through the Bhagavad Gita. If we can understand just one book, the Bhagavad Gita, then our life will be perfect. That's why this is our daily or everyday book. But still, again, Prabhupada says, then one should also read śrī-bhagavān. Yes? Or Chaitanya Charitamrita. The whole idea why we're doing this is to increase our faith to Lord Kṛṣṇa, and ultimately that will lead to love, develop love. Because faith is the beginning, right? Adosrada. Then it becomes prema. And after prema, there is still different levels, stages.
Surprisingly enough, the Srila Prabhupada, the first book which he translated and distributed, this was a Kṛṣṇa book.
Yeah.
This all about Krishna's qualities.
Because
Krishna, Balaram, and his surroundings.
Prabhupada, he thought he will never be able to live long enough to finish the śrī-bhagavān. His main work is the śrī-bhagavān. That even in the last stage of his life, he was translating the śrī-bhagavān. So he thought, okay, let me give immediately the Kṛṣṇa book.
He didn't afraid that we are not enough ready to accept.
Because he wrote it in such a way that even though in some parts are very delicate, but he wrote it in such a way that we'll be able to digest, we'll be able to understand.
Why I'm asking this question, on the classes on śrī-bhagavān, now 10th canto going on, discussion of 10th canto.
Yeah.
So I asked a question, why we so deeply going to this subject matter? Because all our acharyas in the line of manjaris, all our mostly.
No.
And we no need to go so deeply to relationships between Krishna and gopis. This is their concern. This is Krishna's business with gopis, not our business.
But we'd
Our
like to
business
read.
just
We'd like to read the śrī-bhagavān, because nityam bhagavata sevaya. We'd like to read. We can only be able to explain up to a certain extent, and we need the help of the acharyas to explain it. It's like we passed through the rasa dance.
Yes.
About who are we?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, especially no qualified listeners.
Yes.
Maybe some. What to say of qualified speakers? Maybe some. But we did it in a proper perspective, in the right perspective. We didn't talk about really like, Kṛṣṇa, combing, all of these things. So we don't have to talk about that. We still touch upon it, and then we'll finish 11th canto, then 12th canto, and they will go back to first canto again.
Just last point. And then they're recommending us to read Ujjvala Nilamani of Rupa Goswami. Why I should read this? I have no time.
I mentioned this. I mentioned this in my class that it is very.
This is not for us. But why Rupa Goswami wrote it, I'm surprised.
Well, so that someday some of us can be qualified, but now it is not advisable to read that book, because we will very easily speculate and misinterpret, because it's very very deep, is very esoteric, and one may compare Radha and Krishna to ordinary boy and girl.
But to whom he wrote this book, Rupa Goswami?
For the topmost level of
but
bhakta.
We are in Kali Yuga. How we
But
can
you
be
can,
on topmost?
you can. Be patient.
We are in Kali Yuga.
You
Kali Yuga
are.
progressing.
Be patient. Be patient. Maybe someday you'll be qualified. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he asked, what? Govinda Lilamrita, he asked Bhaktivinoda Thakur if he can print this book, and he says, you can only print one copy for yourself. But Prabhupada says we should read also the Goswami's books. This is like to inspire us, to instill inspiration and our faith to grow more and more and more. But one should not read those not until one's senses are completely controlled, the mind. If one doesn't chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and doesn't come for Mangalartik and start reading those books, he'll...
But Srila Prabhupada gave to us 4 books. He said, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita,
Okay, but he said also...
and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
That's okay. But he said we can read also other books. Once we are ready, when your guru says, okay, you can read those. That's why those books, before one reads, he should ask the spiritual master permission. Okay, don't go to Loy Bazaar, and you can go to Loy Bazaar. These books are all available there. But there is no explanation, only translation. So is the opposite result will happen. One will become a sahaja. Okay. So once we're ready, it is available. It's like in university, Prabhupada says, even no one comes, it should be open. That department. The department, doctorate department is available for everyone. But not everyone can go. You have to go stage by stage. Then eventually, yes, it's available for you. It's open. Okay, so we should be patient. We are all patients anyway in a hospital. So be more tolerant here and control the senses, control the mind, be enthusiastic, all these things. Huh? Hopefully one day we'll relish that. But you don't read it with the whole public. There's only few. Like the Goswamis, they only talk with each other. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he never discussed this to anyone in public. Even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we've heard he will only give especially classes on Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. You know, the Brajabasis in Radhakund, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came, they were expecting him to speak on Radha Krishna Lila. but he spoke on Upadesamrita, Nectar of Instruction, or śrī-bhagavān. Actually, before Bhagavad Gita, we should read śrī-bhagavān. That is also talk about Lord Krishna. Okay? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Universal form ki